We got to pull up this story. This is big. This is stupid. Probably not going to go anywhere, but NBC News reports House votes to raise minimum age to buy semi-automatic rifles to 21. The provision is poised to be included in a larger legislative package set for a final House vote Wednesday night. So I think that's what they did already, didn't they? Or is this okay? So this is what was passed.
Right.
It's not just the raising the age from 18 to 21, which is so insanely unconstitutional. There's no way that survives. But it also addresses 3D printed guns, the tracking of untraceable guns. Is something going on?
Hot action. I don't know. Was that
We did talk about the Fed, so.
Uh-oh. So something's going on.
Yeah.
It's always whenever Luke is here.
Should I go check it out?
there's
I'm
activity.
just
Yeah,
gonna
let's
check it
check
out. I'll make sure everything's okay. You guys continue
the first
the
time we got
conversation.
swatted, Luke was talking, and then like the police just come in.
Luke, I'm going to be so pissed
So,
off I got to spend the night in jail tonight.
So we have this article. We're talking about the bill.
Hey, by the way, real fast, my buddy Joshua Carlton texted me and said he's watching. He said he loves you. So,
Oh, cool. Appreciate
what's up,
it.
Josh?
It's pretty serious.
What's happening?
I don't know if you want me to mention.
so,
It's yeah.
So.
Uh-oh.
So apparently there's something going on. There are some friendly neighborhood cops who are going to be swinging by and checking everything out for us, and hopefully everything will be good. So this is a text message I think they got saying that something suspicious is happening here. They're going to come and check and make sure everything's okay.
So it's basically a swatting again.
Basically, yeah. So, but we got our security guy here. He's going to meet them.
Cool.
Yeah. So
We've it's a good thing we have guns.
speaking of guns,
Yeah. I have a katana behind me.
And it's a good thing we have security, and a good thing that we have a
Yeah.
relationship with the local police.
that's right.
So
Love our peeps.
so this is number 9.
I think
we had
so.
we had the bomb
Where's
squad
my
show
punch
up.
card? Oh, my
I know we're
fucking
really
yogurt.
close to that free yogurt.
Yeah.
Really close to a free yogurt.
Anyway, sorry for ditching. I had to step out.
Oh no. I mean it happens. I assumed it's serious if it's going to be happening. So but what are they coming in or what?
I think they're just gonna sweep. They're gonna check, make sure everything's good. I'm sure everything's fine. There's been nothing suspicious actually going on.
We know what
here,
the message
so-
was that was sent or something.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't say too much about what we've done for security. After,
we're secure.
But I would say we're actually well above secure at this point. I'm not super
yeah.
worried about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it can be disruptive, I guess. So
Yeah,
there you go,
well,
everybody. Thanks for
interrupting.
hanging out. It just ha 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 ha. We got swatted again.
Well,
actually, I kind of feel like this sounds a little bit more than a swatting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is a little interesting, a little more casual. I want to hear more details on it because I guess it was a text message that was sent, and I'm not sure.
text to
it was sent
who?
to.
Yeah, I'll say,
not
who's
sure
getting the
if I
text
know the
message?
details. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not
look,
sure.
guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Considering what just happened in Maryland,
Right.
we're about 45 minutes away from where that guy showed up at Kavanaugh's. He flew from California with weapons, planning to kidnap and assassinate Brett Kavanaugh. I can't say I'm surprised. We're not that far away. So
Yeah.
there's creepy weirdos.
But so let's talk about this.
There's
though.
also reports of protests happening outside of Kavanaugh's place right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Sitting here,
That's
I was like, are you
crazy.
kidding?
Yeah.
Which is
Here's the thing, though. Really, all of this boils down to everybody talks about it being, a gun issue. It's not a gun issue. I think Joe Rogan probably said it best. We have a mental health issue kind of couched into a gun issue, disguised as a gun issue. Now, yeah, sure, having a mental health issue disguised as a gun issue is a problem. However, really, this is a value of human life issue. We no longer value someone else as just a human being. You have value just because I believe you're created in the image of God. So for me, you have value just in that alone. We may disagree fundamentally on a lot of social issues and maybe even religious, maybe moral issues. However, you still have value as a human being. And
Yeah.
most people don't have that anymore.
That's
Right.
part of the desperation of 1928 that I brought up early.
Right.
Weimar Germany, late Weimar Germany, early Nazi Germany, when they started to dehumanize other people, probably because they were wealthy and that the people that were desperate weren't wealthy anymore, and they were hating on the wealth. And so desperation breeds, desperate actions. Like, I need that food. Why do you get that food? Why were you born into a family that can have food when I...
Right. But for a long time in America, I think that we got to a point where it wasn't so much that we were going that way, but it wasn't so much that we were needing food. It was that I liked the Jordans that you had. Mm-hmm. And that's a different value system altogether as a society. For us to be wrapped around that kind of stuff, that's a problem. Because I think that's where we start not valuing a human being anymore. And I think that's a very dangerous path for us to go down.
You're talking about like materialism.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even materialism. It's just everything's so superficial. You're not caring about a person. And so we have to get back to the point as a society. Because I firmly believe that Americans, when we're united, we're unstoppable. We've shown that over and over again. We showed it after 9/11. We showed it in World War I and World War II. We showed it over and over again. But we've got to get to a point, and I hate that it takes tragedy for it to happen, but we have to get to a point where we are looking at each other no longer as these different buckets that we put ourselves in, this identity politics. But because you're a human being, you have value to me. We have to get back there.
I was talking about humans like in crowds, and what do the birds think of us when they fly overhead and look at us, like at a rock concert with 20,000 people all moving in unison, and they were like, my girlfriend was telling me, like, they must think we are the most terrifying species on Earth, because when formation occurs and we come together, it's insanely unstoppable, like the power of the human being.
Right.
And for better or worse, I think of the crowds out when Hitler's giving a speech and you see 10,000 Nazis all like marching in secession, like it can be horribly manipulated, but it's also.
But we can also use it to inspire.
Yeah.
And I think that's my hope. My hope, people talk about, oh, well, you're going to be a politician. I'm like, my prayer, honestly, is I never become a politician. My prayer is I become a statesman. Someone who focuses on the next generation. A politician only focuses on maintaining power. They focus on the next election cycle. A statesman is only focusing on the next generation. And we have to think long term like that. What is this going to do for the next generation of people? Mm-hmm. If we start thinking like that again, I think that provides hope.
What are your tactics, like your humanization tactics, when you personally seek to humanize, crowds or people you disagree with?
So a lot of it comes back down to my faith. It really does. And I understand that people are searching for things. And I think a lot of times we misunderstand what we're searching for. But understanding and valuing a person just because they have value, because they're creating the image of God, to me, that's such a great way for me to be able to relate to somebody, because I can cut through all the other stuff if we disagree. I don't care what it is. Abortion, police, defunding the police, we call it whatever it is, Second Amendment. I can still value you as a person, and that is very important for us to get to.
When you were at war, do you want to?
No, I was just finish that.
Wait,
thought
when you were in the Middle East, did that happen with the enemy combatants? Was there a sense of humanization there, or did you have to just pretend like it wasn't there, or what was that like?
A little bit of both. Honestly, I remember going over it the first time. It was a very difficult thing for me to process, because if what I believe is true, and I believe it is, as far as my faith, then I believe that every single person over there, that their life ended, they were separated from a God who loves them forever. So that was a very difficult thing for me to process and get to a spot to where I was okay with. But once you're over there and you're operating, you're performing the operation, you're protecting your brother beside you, and it's a completely different thing altogether.
So do you think that social media has played like the biggest role in dehumanizing other people?
Oh yeah. It's so easy to stay behind a keyboard and scream and shout at each other, and type in all caps if you're really mad.
But it translates into the real world in ways that many of us didn't think were going to happen. We kept saying Twitter wasn't real life,
right?
But then that hatred people feel, they bring to the real world.
You're right.
There's this video, we can't show it in full, but it's went up at 8:12. Secret Service takedown of a protester during POTUS motorcade from Fox LA. This is one of the craziest videos I've seen. I don't know if it's actually a Secret Service takedown. There's a woman who walks into the street in the middle of the motorcade of the president, bullhorning.
How did she get there?
And the cops run up and slam her to the ground, and she attacks the cops.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, dumb, yeah, crazy, yeah.
It's like people are turning into zombies.
Well, they also
want
want this. That's the thing, and that's my thing. Even with the mass shootings and stuff like that, is these people want to be memorialized forever. Even if it's for something bad, they want to be known. They want this time.
And the corporate media, according to many scientific studies now, actually promotes and inspires these mass shootings because of the way that they cover these events, the way that they show the picture of the individual, the way that they make him infamous, the way that they talk about the manifesto, the details that they give about him. This essentially creates more mass killers. There's a reason when someone runs onto a stadium floor during a sports ball game that the cameras don't point to him, because they know it's going to inspire other people to do so. The same thing happens with mass shooters. So if we really wanted to stop it, we would be covering this differently, but they don't. MSNBC and all these other corporate media organizations are literally creating copycat killers
agree.
and spurring on similar
Yeah.
situations. This is why Buffalo was so close to the situation in Texas.
Yep.
And there might be even another one with how they've been reporting on the Texas situation. With all you have to do is, again, stop focusing on this monster, start focusing on the victims, and you would not only shift the narrative, but you would stop future shootings and mass murderers.
You actually start
from prevailing.
humanizing
Exactly.
again.
Absolutely, and that's what the corporate media should be doing. If they really wanted to stop all these very violent events, they would stop promoting these violent murderers and giving them the attention that they want.
Well, they don't want to stop them; they want the click. But honestly,
Exactly.
I actually think that you would get better ratings if you simply focused on the emotion of it, on the fact that you focus on the victims. I think you get a lot more engagement from people. But instead, they focus on the opposite.
You were also saying how it's like people want to be heard. This is their way of being heard or seen. And I wonder if someone is arrested for an attempted mass shooting or mass shooting, but they're still alive, if we should interview them and let them speak to be heard, because then
more people will do it.
But you'll also see
I'm
how
gonna get on TV.
But you can see how crazy it is as well.
Yeah.
If we hide it, then it's like
No, you call them a monster for what they are. Like
Yeah,
the
you
people
call
who,
them a
who do
monster.
these shootings are monsters.
Yes, but giving them attention means more crazy people. are
Don't
gonna-
name them. Yeah, don't
Right,
even
yeah.
name them. Don't show their
That's
pictures.
not it. That's not it. Let me tell you guys a story. I love this story. It was about 11 years ago. I'm hanging out. I was in Virginia actually, and 4chan had an operation called Operation King Cone. That's all it was. They were watching EarthCam, which is live streams from around the world. Someone pulled up Times Square, and they said, "Can we use the collective power of the internet to knock over this street cone?" In the Times Square camera, next to, I think it was TGIF, was a little street cone. And they said, okay, we've got the meme up, we've got the page up, let's knock it over. People kept trying crazy things. Someone ordered a pizza and told the pizza guy, and the pizza guy's like, I don't know what's going on. You see the guy on the bike ride up with the pizza. Everyone's spamming like crazy in the thread, like, he's going to do it, no, he left. Then finally, at the end of the day, some people are walking by, some young guys, and then all of a sudden they walk past it, stop, walk backwards like rewinding, and then knock the cone over, and then wave to the camera, and everybody's cheering, saying like, we did it. Then a woman walks by, picks the cone up, pulls a crown out of her purse and puts it on top of the cone because it was Operation King Cone. The point is, people are just trying to move the needle in any way possible.
Sure.
These are people who are bored, they're lonely, they feel like they don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Anything that gets them any kind of acknowledgement. It doesn't need to be their name. It needs to be the fact that we talked about the tragedy, period, is what they want. And they get it even if you don't show them. They sit back and they watch afterwards saying, all of this because of me. I don't know how you stopped it. I think what we need is, I'll tell you the simple answer is, we need dads.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of I think that
family
the
unit.
common profile is no dad.
Right.
Yep.
SSRIs as well, heavy use, particularly in many of these particular cases.
Sure.
Self-harm, self-abuse, and mental health issues, also a very big one.
But how much of that stems from the family unit too?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen an
a
attack
lot of
on the
it's
family unit for
correlated.
decades.
Exactly.
in the pharmaceuticals, it's no joke, dude.
Sure.
I don't know, how do you quantify it though? How do you know how much damage Adderall is doing to 13-year-olds?
Right.
How can you? I'm asking a genuine question.
I mean, you got to look at how much the use of it's gone up. I mean, it's through the roof from what it used to be. So you're having everybody, and I think it's partially parents too. You know, we as parents, we got to make sure we have to be much more hesitant to put our kids on stuff that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. You know, even vaccines, for crying out loud. I mean, so, and the reason I say that, so for my son, my oldest son, I got him a flu shot. This was a few years back, and I mean, he had a small seizure after the flu shot. This was long before, COVID and everything else. And so it made us go, cool, we're going to have a pause on that for a while until we figure out what's going on. But
that makes
we're
you
so
a crazy
quick.
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm going to do everything I have to do to protect my kids.
I mean, we had the drummer former drummer from The Offspring.
Right.
He had Guillain-Barré syndrome, so they were like, we don't think you should get this vaccine. He got kicked out of the band for it.
Right.
They were like, oh, sorry, we can't work with you. It's like, you'd think 17 years would earn you some loyalty, but some people are just, they don't care about that stuff.
No.
Yeah, when a kid's on amphetamines, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to give my kid amphetamines. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Pfizer and my doctor said it was okay now. I guess I'll give my kid like, just
Now,
because.
federally, what do we do? Because that's where my head goes now, right? We have to remove some of the protections from some of these companies that they're protected. They can do anything they want to do without any kind of recourse.
No liability.
Same thing with Facebook and Twitter and everything else. Me as an individual, I can't sue them. But we should be able to.
Yep, you get hurt. You know, it doesn't matter if your job forced you to do this.
Right.
If the media told you to do this, if the government told you to do this, if your doctor told you to do this, you get hurt. You're the one who's going to be responsible paying for your own medical bills. No one else is going to be covering or helping you in any way, shape, or form. So you know, Biden likes to talk about how the gun industry is unaccountable, not liable.
Well, the only industry.
Yeah, the only industry.
Why?
Well, that's not the case here, obviously, with all the information that we have in front of us.
They have more accountability than probably any other industry right now.
I have never understood why the big pharmaceutical, you could call them a mafia. I've never understood why these people who literally make things that you inject into your body and absorb into your bloodstream have zero accountability. What is going on there?
I think it's because they feel like if something does go wrong, which it's bound to eventually, that they'll get sued into oblivion and then they can no longer function. And the value of pharmaceuticals is that modern medicine's a miracle.
Absolutely.
But the problem is it's the business of medicine that they're incentivized to have people be ill so that they buy their medicine.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.